Hi everybody, it's Rowan Smith with the Mortgage Center. We're going to do something a little bit different here this week. It's where I'm going to answer one of the most common questions I receive, which is, can I roll my other expenses into my mortgage? So let's look at exactly how that would go down. In this example, we'll take a look at down payment to see how it's structured in an individual mortgage deal. For the purposes of illustration, let's assume a $100,000 purchase price just to keep our numbers nice and round. Now in Canada, the maximum amount of financing that you're allowed to get on a property is 95%. So in order for you to roll any additional costs into that, you would have to be borrowing more than 95%. So if someone says to me, can I roll my car payment into my mortgage? We're faced with the same set of constraints. $100,000 purchase price, 95% or $95,000 maximum financing. When they ask me, can I roll the $10,000 a month loan into my mortgage, we end up with a situation where the client is borrowing more than 100% of the value of the home. This is not allowed. So are there ever situations where you can roll costs into your mortgage? The answer is yes. You simply have to have a more substantial down payment. Consider this example. A client purchasing the $100,000 home has $50,000 worth of down payment, 50% down. That same person asks, can I roll my $10,000 car loan into my mortgage? The answer in this case is yes. They're well below the Canadian maximum for financing. But there's a second twist to this. Are they below the 80% rule? Now, the 80% rule, anything over 80% financing, so borrowing more than 80% triggers CMHC fees on a sliding scale. If you were to borrow as high as 95%, those fees could be upwards of $3,000. So it may not make sense in those circumstances to do so. If somebody is looking at buying this piece of property and rolling their costs in, closing costs in addition to it, they can do so up to 80%. Now they can go beyond 80%, but then they start incurring CMHC fees. But again, the maximum of 95% applies. You can't borrow more than 95% of financing. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to call me anytime. I'll be happy to look at your specific situation, see if there's a way we can perhaps optimize the other debt that you have, whether it be through a consolidation loan or through consolidating it into your mortgage. The important thing is not to look at it as, am I rolling it into my mortgage, but rather, am I able to put less down and keep money back to pay those other expenses? For the Mortgage Center, I'm Rowan Smith.